Good evening. This is Officer Hollingsworth from the Huntsville Police Department, and he's going to do our presentation about security and safety. And I just want, on behalf of Pastor Snodgrass and Session, thank you for coming back out again to do this presentation. We appreciate your time and efforts. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and just take out your way.
Okay. First place, I want to say thank you very much for letting me come out. I love coming out and doing this because this is something that is very important to me. Give you a little bit about my background. I'm about as close to a Huntsville as you can get. My dad was military, so I'm a military brat, so of course I was born in Fort Carson, Colorado. But for 5 generations, everybody but me, including my brothers and sister, was born here in Huntsville or Ardmore or somewhere around here. Both sides of my mom and dad family is from here, grew up here, went to all the schools here, and actually graduated from, went to UAA, started there, then decided to drop out of chemical engineering and become a police officer for some stupid reason. And later in life, I did finish up to get my degree in criminal justice. A little bit about myself: I've been with the Huntsville Police Department for 32 years. I did 16 years on patrol. I've been a field training officer, all that stuff. Then I got a chance to go to the community resource team. When I went over there for the last 16 years, I also got to join our negotiation squad. I've been a negotiator for 15 years. Here recently, we started a unit to help us handle people with mental illness. It's called the Crisis Intervention Team. I've been the one who's been headlining that. I'm also a certified mental health officer with the Mental Health Association through the probate judge. Along with that, I'm also certified in teaching CRADES, which is civilian response to active shooter. That's what we're here today for. And one of the reasons why this is really important to me is because let's start it off this way. Last 2 or 3 days, has any of y'all ever stopped at a convenience store to get gas, buy a candy bar or chips or anything like that? Did any of y'all that stopped at a convenience store thought that maybe that convenience store being robbed? Because if it's being robbed and you're there, you're actually in a potential active shooter situation. So that just shows how easy this is. Another easy thing to show you is, y'all remember Aurora, Colorado, right? I don't know if y'all know him, but our deputy chief, Corey Harris, who at one time I was his actual training officer when he first came here from East St. Louis, he had a family reunion. They went to Aurora, Colorado. He actually got food poisoning, which prevented him from being in that theater. He was supposed to be there when that happened. So you go on a family reunion out of state and almost wound up into an active shooter situation. Let's make this a little more real. Since 2000, how many active shooters by the FBI? Now, the FBI defines an active shooter as the potential attempted mass murder. So the shooting in the middle school in Madison, city of Madison, is not an active shooter. There was one target alone. How many in Huntsville, Alabama, since year 2000, do you think we've had? Anybody want to guess?
I would say 5.
Very close. It's technically right now by the FBI it is 5. I'm sure when they redo it, it's going to be 6. Y'all remember the church incident that happened about 6-8 months ago? The guy went in there with a gun. They followed him over the gun and got him out of the church over in Oakwood. So I'm sure when they redo the stats, they're going to add that one to it. Now, the 5 previously ones, we had UAH, at Trent, the Marriott, TGIF Friday restaurant, and a little bit ways back was Labor Ready. 6 people was killed there. There's 2 people at Labor Ready that was not killed that he shot at. One was a young lady that he pointed the gun clicked. His mind went somewhere else. When he finally got the gun working, he didn't come back to her. The second person was me, because when I was out in the woods at his house, he's 6'9". He saw me cutting across from tree to tree, raised up, shot at me, and hit the windowsill. So as a negotiator talking to people, and then plus being that one where I was actually shot at, you can see why this is important to me. I've been teaching active shooter for a long time. First started off as workplace violence. Then we had to run, hide, fight. This right here is going to be avoid, deny, defend. This is set up by the DOJ. You actually have to go out and get qualified certified to teach this. Just anybody can teach this. What I like about this one right here, it teaches you, the individual, what to do no matter where you're at, whether you're at home, at work, at school, on vacation, wherever. If you're in this field, it gives you the best tools to help you survive. So to start this off, what I'm going to do is first play a 12-minute video, and then when it gets done, I'll go into the PowerPoint, and then we'll have questions, okay?
First, we're going to attack the store. We need help now.
I have a bad news In our research, we have found that the actions that potential victims take during these events are critical to their survival. We have identified 3 options that have proven effective in many events. These are: avoid the attacker, deny the attacker access to your area, defend yourself. It is a personal decision, but you have a right to do so. Avoiding the attacker starts with being aware of your surroundings at all times and knowing what is going on around you. If you see or hear something that looks suspicious, take action. For example, the stalker took immediate and effective action to protect himself when he observed the shooter pulling out weapons from the bag. Others, however, hesitated, and this hesitation can cost them valuable time that they could have used to get away from the threat. If you hear something that is, or could be, gunfire, start trying to get away from it as soon as possible. Gunfire has a distinctive sound. Inside of buildings, the sound can be muffled or distorted. A single loud bang could be a person dropping something, or even thunder. But repeated loud bangs are much more likely to be gunfire. Additionally, look at the reaction of others. Are they startled or scared? Are they running? What are they saying? Any one of these events individually may create denial, but when put together, should create a heightened awareness and stimulate an immediate response. It is important that you know how to get out. The situation will be chaotic and rapidly changing. In general, you will want to go to the nearest exit. But you must also understand that the closest exit may not be accessible or safe to use. If this is the case, go to a different exit. While avoiding the threat, consider the uses of cover and concealment. Cover offers protection from gunfire, while concealment minimizes your exposure to the attacker. Try to keep objects between you and the attacker. If you can't avoid the attacker, sometimes the best option will be to deny the attacker access to your location. In many locations, this can be accomplished by closing and locking a door, such as they did in the meeting room. Locking the door has proven effective in many attacks. If the door does not have a lock, you can place heavy objects in front of it. Remember, barricades work best if the door opens toward you. If it doesn't, use things that are readily available, such as straps, belts, or objects that can be used to block or secure the door to make it difficult for the attacker to enter the room. This may at least slow the attacker down and give you time to identify alternate means of escape, such as adjoining rooms or windows. When attempting to deny access to your location, you want to make it appear that there is no one in your area. Lock doors, turn off the lights, silence your phones, and get out of sight. Your attempt to deny the attacker access to your location might fail.
The gunman's coming. What are we going to do? We're going to have to defend ourselves.
Have a backup plan about what you will do. In many cases, this may be to defend yourself. You need to be in a place where you can act if the attacker comes into your location. In most rooms, you will line up against the same wall that the door is on, near the door so you can react, but not directly in front of it. If you are unable to avoid or deny, your best option may be to defend yourself by using whatever is available. In a situation where someone is attempting to kill you, you have the legal right to defend yourself. Attack weak spots such as eyes, throat, and groin. Fight to the best of your ability and do not quit until the attacker is stopped. This is what the workers in the warehouse did when they were unable to avoid the attacker and felt their lives were in immediate danger. Whatever option you choose, call 911 as soon as you are in a safe location. Provide any information that you know. The operator will ask you a lot of questions. If you don't know the answer, don't guess. Just say you don't know and only state the facts.
I'm not sure. There's three of us in the room.
This will be a complex situation, and we can't tell you what you should do in every case. What we can do is provide you with information about the options that we have found to be most effective for surviving these attacks. The ultimate choice is yours. What you do matters. Avoid the attacker. Deny access to your location. Defend yourself. Law enforcement will be entering a chaotic scene with limited information. Their first priority will be to stop the threat to your safety. The police may not know where or who the threat is. Listen and comply with their commands immediately.
Put it down, sir. Put it down. Both of you on the ground.
Police are trained to look at people's hands to assess threats. Do not have anything in your hands that could be perceived as a weapon, such as a cell phone.
Show me your hands, sir. Show me your hands. Move to us. Everybody keep your hands up, please. Walk out the door.
If told to do so, stay where you are and do not make sudden movements. Again, follow all commands. Remember, what you do matters. Avoid the attacker. Deny access to your location. Defend yourself. Remember, ADD. You can survive.
All right, like I was telling you, this right here was actually hosted by the DOJ. They were one that sponsored this. It was actually done through, I think it's the Texas University. Columbine. Police change our methods due to serious incidents happening. Back in the 60s, there was a school shooting in a Texas university where the guy was up in the bell tower. He was a sniper. That's what started SWAT, because they figured out they needed a team to be able to go up in certain situations that knew how to work together. Over in LA, you had two guys that was very heavily armed, did that robbery, and the police was outmanned because they had stronger weapons than us. That's what started police officers being able to carry rifles. Columbine is what changed how we respond to schools. Being a negotiator, SWAT negotiation, when the incident happens, they first got to get there, decide, the officers get there, the command staff get there, and they decide, well, we need SWAT, we need negotiators. They're going to be there anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes deciding that. Then they're going to call us. Well, I'm at home, I'm cutting my grass and everything else. I got 45 minutes to respond. Once our team gets there, first place SWAT has to move out all the officers out of the way, get their guys in place, their snipers and all. And they got to come up with their plan. At the same time, we're deciding our plan for negotiation. So we may not actually start taking over for 15 to 20 more minutes. That's what happened here. They get there to Columbine. Officers around this building heard kids being killed for 2 hours, waiting for SWAT negotiation to show up. That just don't settle well with us. We should not stand by and listen to people die. We have a new training method. It's going around nationally. Huntsville took it over right after this. When it first came out, we had people from Miami come up and train us. Basically, the first 3 to 4 officers show up to an active shooter. They will team up. They will enter that building. If it's a large enough facility, there may be 3 or 4 teams entering that building. One goal in mind. They're going to take out the predator. Gunshots are going on, they're going to go straight to wherever the gunshots are. If you get in their way, we will kick you out of our way, physically. If you're injured, we will still kick you out of our way. quicker we can get to them gunshots, the quicker we can stop the gunshots, the quicker we can get medical staff in to treat everybody who is hurt. Now, we took that one step further. We've actually started doing where our teams go in, and then we'll have more teams go in and take over parts of the building. We'll start setting up the triage. We'll start working with our HMC firefighters to start evacuating injured people into these areas and hopefully get them into the ambulance, while the other teams are actually trying to take care of the prey. Because some of our buildings here in town are huge. So that's some of the ways that we kind of expanded on that, which is working out good, and it's great that we work with the fire department in Hampton to be able to do this, because we're asking them to go in areas that they shouldn't be going into. Understand that we're going to protect them. So that's how we're changing, to try to make it better. Like I said, the Texas State University is one that actually put all this together under the directions of the Department of Justice. They decided to put this in like a 3-phase thing. The first phase is they're talking about disaster response. Now this ain't talking about how we respond to disaster. We're talking about how you think. This is talking about you. Military, police, first responders have to do this every day of their life. There's no way that I can be put through enough training to know when I go up there and stop that car, because I have no idea who the person is, if that person intended to kill me, how I'm going to respond up there to make sure I go home safe. So I have to, when I first came on patrol, every day I get out there and I would picture myself stopping in certain areas and approaching cars several different ways and expecting them to hurt me. These are some of the things that first responders do. The fire department does the same thing as far as entering buildings when there's fires and stuff. It's because we want to go home. So talking about this, there's 3 things of it is. First, if an incident happens, you're going to deny it happened. Just that simple. Your brain's got a process. It's a great computer. It does it quicker than any other computer out there. But there's still going to be that moment where you have to decide, is this really happening? You got to get past that. Then once you get past that, you get into deliberation. Deliberation is your choices. If you don't know choices, then you're going to have a problem. And then finally, you're going to act. Your brain will make your body move. This is a great example of what everybody thinks. You hear gunshots. There's always another reason that it's not a gunshot, ain't there? Car backfired. Oh, somebody dropped something. Fireworks. Anything but a gunshot. Now, I don't know about y'all, but in the police world, cartoons are very familiar. I don't know if it is in the fire department. You do something stupid, there's going to be a cartoon of you doing that stupid act. And you will be, every precinct will have that same cartoon out there. I mean, everybody come up to you and say, yeah, you're the guy that did this, aren't you? It's the nature of the beast. So maybe that's some of the reason why we try to deny so much, because we don't, if we hear something, we don't want to go running out that building. Turn out there ain't nothing to it. Maybe we're more worried about what people think about us than our own safety at times. But if you start hearing constant loud bangs, like they're showing on there, this needs to really register in your head something's wrong. If you're hearing loud, constant bangs, and you start seeing people run from there, you should get yourself moving. You know, look at what these people are doing and everything, and help that make your decision quicker. When you do deliberating, you got to make choices. And to improve your choices, you've got to get your brain going into a certain way where you know what choices to do. This is not to in any way to disrespect anybody intellect. But I'm here to tell you, every one of us has a lizard brain. What that means is in severe crisis, if you don't prepare, your body automatically goes into a lizard brain mode. That's to make you survive. The reason why it does that is because it's going to make everything go to whether you can fight, you can flight. If you can't do one of them two, your body will shut down. I've seen seasoned officers in critical situations shut down. They were not truly prepared. So this is not about how smart you are, it's just a mere fact. Also realize this, in extreme situations, you get tunnel vision. You stop seeing things out here. You stop hearing things that you normally would hear. That's your body trying to make you survive. The reason for this is because many years ago, we weren't the top apex predator. There was creatures that used to hunt us and eat us. So our body had to develop a way to survive. And when you get all them 1,000 years that's in our body, it's hard to get it out of it. That's not saying we can't, but you got to get ready. You got to prepare yourself. How do you prepare yourself to make yourself where you can do the right choices, where you can either run or you can fight? And that's where everyone goes. What you got to do is you got to train your brain. Kind of like what I was talking about before, but first we're going to get into, you want to calm yourself. One of the things that you can do to calm yourself, because I'm guilty of it, I do it every time before I do a presentation. I am scared to death to do public presentations. Always have been, always will be to a degree, no matter how many times I do this. I'll sit over there as that video getting through. You may see me shut my eyes. I'm trying to get myself composed. Same thing we're talking here. It's called combat breathing. You breathe in, you hold it for a split second. You breathe out, you hold it for a second. Now, in a crisis like an active shooter, I don't want you to do 30 minutes of yoga. Okay? I'm talking about just briefly, just get yourself calmed down where you can act appropriately. Okay? Then, what about shifting your emotions? Anybody here's got a fear of something like spiders? So if I had a bucket with a $100 bill in there and had a bunch of spiders in there, would you get the $100 bill? You're right. Because we're scared, we ain't going to do that, are we? But now let me ask you something. How many people in here are parents? How many people who have gotten really mad because somebody messed with your child? At that given time, is anything going to stop you? Not at all, will it? If somebody comes in here and starts shooting up the place, at first you're going to get scared. They're trying to take your life. Shouldn't that make you mad? That same feeling when you get when somebody's trying to hurt your child should come over you right then. They have no right to do this. Change your emotions. Because when you're angry, and you're angry enough, you'll try your best to go through a brick wall. So that's another way to do it. What I told you before, scripted play. Now, I'm not talking about being paranoid. I don't want you to spend your whole life thinking that somebody's going to be out here killing you, because that's not true. But what I would say is, predominantly where you're at, practice in your mind. Okay, I'm here at my office. If somebody comes in that way, where would I go to? What would I do? If somebody comes in over this way, the same thing we should be doing for fires. True or not? Fires come in different locations. If you do the same thing on your fire escape, and your fire escape is going through the fire, is that doing you any good? No. So you have to practice multiple ways of doing it, right? Anybody ever seen police officers at a restaurant? I don't know if the new guys do it nowadays, but I know the old guys. What did we always do? Get as close to the wall as we could, with our backs against the wall where we can see everything going on. Do we not? Why do you think we do that? Because 30 years ago, people wanted to hurt me. I mean, that hasn't stopped. They've always, there's a few people in this world who want to hurt police officers. So I want to give my best chance in case one walks in. Now, I'm a granddad. I'm guilty of that when I go out with my grandkids. If I go to a restaurant and I see a couple of power drinkers over here at the bar, and they're going to sit me near the bar, I'm going to tell them, nah, move us. Because if they get fighting, I want a little room between them and my grandbabies. Because I don't want them actually to get hurt. Because if they get hurt, then I'm going to get mad. And then seriously, someone will get hurt. And I don't want that to happen. That happens to be trouble. So these are things that I look for when I go places. So that's what I'm going to tell y'all. Kind of look at your surroundings. Know the exits. It's great to know the front exit, right? You need to know more than that. If you're in a place where there's 100 people in there, and something like that active shooter comes in through the side, and everybody runs to that front door to go out, what do you think is going to happen? Everybody will be trampling over everybody else. Get out that same door. So if that's full of people, or for some reason that's blocked, you might need to know another way to get out, okay? So realize some of the stuff that you can start thinking in your head. We'll come back in a minute where I can explain a little bit more on what actions you take, but before we do, the definition, as I told you before, this is by the FBI, an active shooter event is the attempted mass murder. Don't have to kill anybody, it's the attempted mass murder. That's what they define. Is there a profile? Not really. Usually they do have a bigger mindset, and they will broadcast. Usually they'll have a link to the location or people in the location. The reason why I say they're not a profile, not too long ago there was a 12-year-old girl who set up at a rifle and started picking children coming off the bus. Can't tell you what they're going to look like, but you will see some changes. Some of the changes you may notice. They may be, showing up late. They may start using either drugs or alcohol more often, something unusual. Something has changed in their pattern. One of the big things is, you take somebody who's never ever looked at guns before, and now they're talking about buying assault rifles. Or they start showing you some stuff about explosives. These should be turning off. Now, if you got somebody who hunts all the time and has got guns all the time, you expect them to talk to you about guns. But somebody who never, ever played with guns, and all of a sudden they got a fantasy about guns, that's a flag. Does that mean they're active shooters? No. But there's different things to look at. There may be issues going on in their life. Maybe they might be in a problem with their job, losing their job. They may be in a bad relationship, maybe losing their wife or loved one or something. There may be a health problem going on that's really changed them. So there's a lot of things to look at that may indicate a bug. And then usually they'll start talking about stuff. We just got to listen. This is the great thing. Now this is only from 2000 to 2014. Okay, so the last 4 years not added in this. The little dots, up to 4 people was either shot or killed. Middle size one, 5 to 9. Big ones, 10 or plus. Biggest thing is, by each year, pay attention how many more starts happening. There were 179 during this time. The new study just came out about 2 months ago from the FBI. The trend is that they are steadily still increasing. There's more each year, every year. Outside of that, where are we going to all move to? Y'all see the 4 states where there ain't none?
Montana.
Yep.
Ain't nothing in that.
Here's how they're broken up. Businesses has the most, education has the second most. Now, of course, with businesses, they didn't separate it to different type businesses. I wish they would have. But currently, businesses is the #1 place where these things actually happens. As I told you before, at least 55% has a connection either to the place or somebody at the place. How do we decrease the number of deaths? There are 2 ways. Anybody can guess? If we have this many people in here versus 5 people in here, you see that decreases how many people somebody come in and kill, right? So we can decrease the number of people that are available to be shot, or we can get police there quicker, right? Now the number of deaths means how quickly the police respond. National average. Anybody can guess how quick the police responds to the national average?
10 minutes.
From the time it's reported to the police department, it's 3 minutes. Here in Huntsville, I have studied the last 5. Ours is a little, just right at 2 minutes. what I gotta do is teach you how to survive. Now, this is after it's reported, but it might be going on for a couple of minutes prior to somebody finally called, right? So we need to teach you how to survive somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes to get the police there. That's where we're getting to. FBI says a lot of people out in the hallway versus no people out in the hallway, and they call you target availability. That's your new name. It's target availability. So how do we decrease the target availability is what we want to do. As I told you, the national average is 3 minutes. Now, this is what gunshot skin heat sound like. And the reason why it's in here is just to kind of wake y'all up in case you start sleeping on it. So when you hear things like this, is this an option?
Shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be. When it, probably about 6 years ago, there was a department put out Run, Hide, Fight. That's the first great tool that we got because I can't make videos. I don't know how. So they got that video, we start using it. The problem is people actually thought hide is a good option. It's not a good option. A good option is you use a knife and you're where you can fight if you have to. Where he's at, can he fight?
Nope.
No. And I'll show you here in a minute of a true case where that didn't work. So, what we're going to tell you to do is avoid, deny, defend. Now, just because we have it in this order, if I was to walk out this door and there was a guy with his gun in his hand, I'm not going to avoid, I'm not going to deny, I'm defending right there. If we're right face to face, I'm going to go straight to defend. You go to which one of these is your best option at that given moment with your physical capabilities, okay? So, to avoid, leave as soon as you can. You got to know your exits to be able to leave quickly. Call 911 if you are safe. In the video, I disagree with this. They were in an office and she was calling 911. Why would that be a bad thing?
He can hear you.
He can hear you, right? I'm going to tell you, when you are completely safe, call 911. Now, if you choose to do that before, then that's up to you. Consider secondary exits. Here in a little bit, I'll explain why that's important knowing about windows. Here in a church, you can get through these windows. In a commercial business, windows are a lot thicker, are a lot harder to break. You got to realize that. So if you choose to go through the windows, you really got to understand that you may have to put a lot of effort to get it broken out. And before we get to locks, also, when you're choosing these things, is an elevator a good option?
No.
Because if he's down there when the elevator opens, what happens? Okay? So if you're in a second or third floor, what's your other option besides the elevator? All right. Stairs, long hallways, and doorways. Police call them the funnel of death. When I enter a door and know there's a shooter on the other side, that split second that I go through that door, I'm vulnerable. I gotta get through it real quick and get out of that door because he's gonna be shooting at that door. When I'm going down along the hallway with no doors for me to get inside, that's worse, is it not? What about stairs? When you start down that stairs, if you're caught in the middle of the stairs, where are you going to? So when you go from point A to point B, you got to move. If there's a bunch of people piled up down at the bottom, wait to get out that door. If you ain't got to run down the stairs yet, it may be a good thing. So let's talk about Aurora, Colorado, the movie theater. Any of y'all like getting your ticket where you're on the top row in the middle? I mean, that's where I get my ticket. I like being right there, right? Now, if you're up there on the top row, and a guy comes in and starts shooting at the place, where do you go to get away from him? You gotta go the side downstairs, right? Straight to him, right? There's your fun little death, right? So, with me and my grandbabies, and my daughters, we've already have a plan. We're not jumping up and running right at first.
Amen.
They're going to lay down. We're going to wait for him to quit firing to put more bullets in. They're going over to the side, going over the side. They may break an ankle going over. But they're going, once they jump down, they're going to be close to the door. I'm going after the bad guy. That's just the way it is. You have to be thinking of this. You may want to run, but running right at first may not be your best option. That's where if you don't play it in your brain, you may do the wrong thing, right? So this is the reason why I want to give you choices. I want you to start thinking about what to do. Denying yourself. That's what they do is lock, lights off, out of sight, out of mind. What about cell phones?
Got 'em all.
Turn them off. What about putting them on silent? Is that a good thing? Why? If it's a dark room, what happens when this thing goes off? It vibrates, but it still has light, right? All right. Cool. All right, barricades. Yes, the door stops work. The heavier the barricade is, the better. If a door is open inward towards you, that's when barricade works the best. Now, granted, if it opens up outward, the more stuff you put up there, the more stuff he's got to climb over and move out of the way before he fully gets in. But he could possibly still shoot over. Okay? But you got to understand that. That's why they get into the tactical restraints and stuff like that to slow the people down. So if it opens outward, there are ways that you can slow the guy down. What if he's stronger than you? He's able to get that door open. You got to be thinking about a secondary plan because none of these are 100%. Okay? So we're going to get into this. How do you defend yourself? You saw the video. It's like this door right here. If it was shut, it would open inward, right? So they all lined up over here. Why didn't they line up on the other side? The door will shut them out of it, won't it? So if it opens inward, you can't do like two people there, right? Now if it's open outward, you could. So you got to line up over here. What did they do wrong when they lined up here? This is not nothing against any of your ladies. I have met some ladies that I do not want to fight. Okay? But in that video, I think my grandbaby might have whooped that girl's butt. That's right. Because she's very scared, very terrified, wasn't she? Is that the person you want first in line to grab the person? No. Now let's talk about guns. What are guns for? It's not an up close and personal weapon. It's to reach out and touch you from a distance, ain't it? If I came in here, through this door right here, and all y'all ran to the back saying that was shut there where you couldn't get out, if y'all all huddled back there, what did you just do for me?
Made it easy target.
Made it easy, right? So, since this is not an up close and personal weapon, where do you need to be to defend yourself against this?
Close and personal.
Up close, right? So you're going to get right up here. So now when they come in with that gun, the first person should be grabbing that gun. And here's a little thing. I don't care how strong you are, guys, anything else. If you grab out here, these women can actually break your hand away from whatever you grab. Your strength is not holding on up here. Your strength is grab and pull to your core. Here, you have a lot of strength. So you grab, you pull. Now when you see, I'm not saying grab and pull the barrel towards you. So let's make sure everybody understands this. This gun right here. That part down here, that's the danger part. That little hole is pointing at you, you're in trouble. Okay? So when you grab, you do not pull that barrel at you. The reason why I'm telling you this, because there is a very good chance when you grab a gun and it's in somebody's hand, they'll get one shot off. If that barrel's pointing at you, you're in trouble when that gun goes off. Now, second place is, I don't know if any of y'all dealt with guns, but I have. I've been on the range, and my partner over there shooting away, and the shells or the bullet pops out, and they go down my shirt. They're hot. And you're like, oh God, that burned. But that's just a shell. The reality of it is, it's because the way a gun is made, the way the bullet goes off, the barrel gets very hot. You grab that barrel and that gun and pull it towards you, and he shoots, it's going to get so hot that it may even burn your skin. What happens if you let go? He's going to turn that gun at you, ain't going to go off the second time, right? So if you're going to grab that gun, be committed. You cannot let go. Also, bullet goes off, it's going to be very loud. If it scares you and you let go, there again, you're going to turn around and get that second shot off. So if you do have to fight over a gun, grab the gun, pull it towards you, not the barrel pointing at you, towards you. Do not let go. You fight with everything you got. If you fight, something happens to him, and he shouldn't have been doing what he's doing. Okay? You fight with whatever you have to do. Virginia Tech. This right here will show to you, if you do something, it matters. It will make you safe if you do something. When the Virginia Tech shooter happened, it wasn't a question about the police showing up. He killed 2 people on campus. The police were already there. This is something else we learned. The main part of it happened in Norris Hall, where he killed about 23 people. When the police got there, these 2 front doors, he took the chain and a lock, changed it from inside. Who has breaching tools in the police department? SWAT. What did I tell you about how long it takes SWAT to show up?
2030.
So since Virginia Tech incident, most officers carry their own breaching tool. I have one out in my car, where I can break a door down. So that's what delayed police from getting up there. Happened on the 2nd floor. There's 5 rooms involved. This right here will show you, starting off with room 206, how many people got shot and killed. And then I'm going to walk you through what they did to make a difference. He goes into this room, starts shooting. The amazing thing about it is, when he started shooting in this room, the teacher in room 211 told one of the students to call 911. Guess what they did? She went back to teaching. Kind of like the guy with the buggy, continued shopping. It happened. So he goes in there and you see almost 100% got shot. A little over 70% got killed. He did leave this room, come back to it a second time. When he came back in there a second time, they still didn't do anything. There's a girl that did a lot of presentations. I don't see how she survived. She got shot twice the first time. When he came back in, she said, well, I just played dead. Just laid there. He went down the rows, going back to shooting them again. He shot her 3 more times. She got shot 5 times. I don't see how she survived. So hiding in place, does it work? No. The second one, she did call. 100% got shot in that room. So he did come back a second time. But you did have a few less because they did try to do something. On this right here, you got close to the same amount, a lot less shot because they did try to block the room. They got up there, was trying to push the desk up there. He got over there, he shot through the door. He shot a couple of them because they weren't staying down. And he was able to get the door open about that far. And he started shooting the people who were in there. So you got a lot less killed because they did try to block the door. Now, I'm one of these type people who, if I truly need a hero, I give them the credit they do, and it emotionally bothers me. My dad did in Korea and Vietnam. This next one, room 204. The hero there is the teacher. He was a Holocaust survivor. Everything started happening. They got up there, and he heard a guy coming. He barricaded the door with his body. Told his students to go out the window. They jumped out the 2nd floor. Because of his actions, you see how few got shot and how few got killed. He was killed holding that door. 2005, they said they just push it. Nobody got shot, nobody got killed. Why? They shoved the desk up there to the door. They all lay down on the ground, put their feet against the desk. When he shot this high, because they're laying down, he didn't hit anybody. He never made entry to that room. So they all survived. So, you can be room 206, laying high, or you can be room 205. That's a choice you have to make. But if you act, you have a very good chance of surviving. So you're not helpless. And what you do will matter. Here's a little thing that you can put in your head. This will work even at your home if you choose to, because it is very good with legal standpoints, and I'll explain that here in a few minutes. Attack scar. We can tell you to do what? Try to avoid, right? To avoid, you go to the primary exit. If the attacker's not at the primary exit, you avoid it. You survive, right? All right. You go to that primary exit. Say the attacker's there. We deny by going to do what? Either securing ourselves into a room or finding another exit, right? So we look for other exits. We get to another exit, and he's not there. We survive. Now, let me throw this out there. Has there been cases where there's been more than one attacker?
Yeah.
So just because you run from him there, does that mean there can't be a second one at your secondary exit?
Right.
So don't think that you're safe just because you went the other way. You still got to have your sense about you, okay? All right. You go to that secondary exit, and it's locked. What do? At some point, you got to be ready to defend yourself, okay? Why did I say this will work at school, at your home? Here's why. I'm going to tell you, now you do what you want to do, but I'm going to tell you, if you have an attacker at your house, more doors you can put between you and them, ability to call us, that will help you stand up in court in case you have to defend yourself. That mean that you have to do that? No, because like I told you, if you come face to face with an attacker, you do what you have to do right then. If you have that ability to put things between you, do that. Here's the reason why I say that. As far as a lot of people think that somebody into my house, I can line up back and shoot and kill him. Well, that's going to be up for a jury deciding you can or not. The reason why I say that is, if you get woken up in the middle of the night, you got this little 16-year-old boy, he's got your TV in his hands, he's walking to go out the door, you shoot him and kill him, good chance you're going to prison. Was he a danger to you or your family with your TV in his hand walking out the door? No. Now, if I live in a 2-story house, my grandbabies sleep upstairs, I get woken up and this guy going up the stairs, he ain't making it to that top stair. I'm sorry. I don't know what his intent is. I'm not going to take that chance with my grandbabies. You see how I'm saying this? If you honestly believe your life's in danger, you do what you've got to do. But if you make the wrong choice, if you assume wrong, and these things like, I used to hear this, well, I always told my police, if I shoot a guy outside, just drag him into the house.
Heard that.
Yeah, that used to be said all the time. Well, you know, back in the 70s and 60s, that might have worked because we didn't have the science we do nowadays. The science now is going to show you shot them outside. It ain't going to work nowadays, okay? So make sure your life is truly in danger and that you do what you think you need to do. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, when police arrive, we're there to stop the killing, to stop people dying. We can only do that if we go to whoever's doing the killing. I can't sit there and talk to you. I've got to go there. Now, with that being said, you hear in the news nowadays, well, everybody needs to arm themselves with their own gun. If you choose to, bless you. What I'm going to tell you to do, make sure you know how to use that gun very well. Because if I show up to an active shooter, what do you think I'm told? Look for the person with a gun in their hand, right?
Right.
So if you're standing there over the guy that's been shooting everybody with a gun, You're in that stress, remember lizard brain? You don't see me because you're tunnel vision, all you see is him. You don't hear me, I'm yelling, put the gun down, put the gun down. You turn around and go, what? Guess what's gonna happen to you?
Throw it away.
Okay? And I was asked this in one of my classes. Hey, I'm trained very well. I shoot all the time. I go to I'm involved in shooting clubs and everything else. If it happened here, can I join up with y'all police and hunt the guy down? No. We do not allow civilians to go with us, okay? When we are there and we start talking to you, listen to us. We look at two things. Your hands, just like a traffic stop. If I can see your hands, you're not a threat to me. Unless you have a bomb on you. Okay? Now, have active shooters played with bombs before? All of mine. A couple others. So these are things that we're going to be looking at. So remember, when we're there, let us see these. And we ask you to let us see here. Just move your jacket away where we can see. Don't go reaching, pulling stuff out. Okay? So just listen to what we need. We'll get you there as quick as we can. Because if I was the guy that started shooting and I shot several people over here and I joined the rest of y'all, you didn't know if I did the shooting, would the police know who I am? So we may have to vet you as we get you through there to make sure. Okay? Now, hopefully you'll never ever experience nothing like this in your life. If you do, you will have trauma. Okay? This will affect you. Use your resources. Use your church. Use your loved ones. Use professional help, whatever you need to get you through one of these incidents if you ever did. Now, with that being said, please remember, we have a lizard brain, don't we? And we're going to prepare where that lizard brain don't interfere with us doing what we need to do, right? We're going to remember, avoid, deny, defend. You can go straight to defend if you need to. You don't have to do all three. And if you're like Virginia Tech, if you do something, you will survive, right? Cool. Any questions? Surely somebody's got a question. I think anything that I've left out that y'all might need to know. It's amazing me nobody has one. Usually somebody will ask me something. Yes, ma'am.
Remember the shooting that was in the church? Remember that one?
Which one?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. What did those people have done here?
All right. This kind of goes back to, I'm also certified as a crime prevention specialist, which I did come out here, and I got with Ms. Wallace, and we went over several things about the conflict. One of the biggest things is the people here at the church. First place, on churches. You can't have 50 doors for people to enter into the church in. I'm sorry. You need to limit it because people need to know who's coming in and who's going. Your staff of your church need to be aware of the parking lot because everybody enters the parking lot first, right? Now, if they would have picked up on this guy out in the parking lot, would have seen that he's a little bit strange. Then, if somebody would approach him out there, it might have stayed outside. Now, unfortunately, I also teach, back when I first started teaching this, we called it fire and tornado. If the active shooter was inside, you treat it like a fire group. You run outside. If the active shooter's out in the parking lot, you lock as many doors in to keep them out. Well, if you go locking all your doors in, and your two guys out there talking to that guy, what did you just do to them?
Knock him out.
They're going to be locked out. They got to understand that they're going to get locked out. Okay? So that fighter right there, they would identify it out there. Now, say if they didn't start talking and didn't identify it. That was a new person to the church, right? Your new guest should not come right into the congregation. They should come in and fill out some paperwork or talk to somebody, kind of get to know their background, what they want to do, see if this is the right congregation for them. through this interview, somebody who's off in the head, you're gonna pick up on. See what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately for them, so the person who does this, now I'm not gonna tell you I need somebody who was a Marine for 30 years, who's 6'8", weighing 400 pounds, to be the guy who approaches them out there, because that guy may not have the ability to talk. Sometimes, one of my greatest friends is Rajola Caldwell. She's a retired teacher. She taught art. She's also a courtesy officer at one of our apartment complexes. She's 5'1", weighs about 120 pounds. She's 60 years old. Why does she do security so well? Every time she goes up and talks to somebody, everybody falls in love with her. They're her mom. They just open up and talk to her. What do they do with you? They open up and talk to you. Why? Here. And it carries over through your life. Does it not? You know, there's a difference in the way he speaks to people and the way somebody who's been a police officer on the street for 4 years. These guys keep talking to nobody. You know? Now, the guys that's been there for a while, they figure out that, you know, I'm tired of going to the hospital with all these cuts and bruises. I need to start getting a little smarter and figure out a better way to do it. A better way to do it is use this right here, not this right here. So they learn, but it takes a while. Okay? That's the person who's got to be, now he's got to be physically able to handle himself, or she's got to be physically able to handle himself, because what's going to happen if we get locked out, right? But they also need that ability to talk to somebody. Have the ability to de-escalate. Have you ever been someplace where somebody is screaming, and this person comes in and screams louder? Well, what does this person do? Scream louder, don't it? Does anybody get anywhere there? No. You ever heard that person screaming? And then somebody like the pastor here comes here, you know, what's your problem? Talk to him. Never yells. What do? They start talking, don't they? That's de-escalation skills. That's what the person who goes out there and confronts them will have to be able to do. So these are some of the things that I would tell you. It's going to really be your first offense. They're going to have to understand when to call. There may be a code that they have to tell them, and maybe a hand sign or something. Y'all need to know to lock the door, call the police. He's going to talk to them outside, try to talk to them long enough to get police there. Like I said, I'm part of I'm a mental health officer. I teach crisis intervention. One of the things I can teach my guys, get somebody who's mentally ill. Use your mouth, talk to them, and get 3 or 4 more officers there. That's why you got enough people to be able to grab a hold of and get it under control without hurting you. Because if you're mentally ill, if you go up there and try to grab him, you may grab something a lot more than what you want to grab. And then bad things happen. So we're trying to train our officers a little bit better. That's what I would tell you, the same thing. If that makes sense. Ain't nothing here I can tell you 100%. If you choose to get a security team and arm them, what I'm going to tell you to do is make sure you're in church, talk to an attorney, and talk to an insurance company. The reason why I say that is because eventually, these teachers being armed, everybody else being armed. Give you an example right here. Somebody in here right now is a shooter. He stands up and starts shooting. What are all y'all going to do?
Run.
Chaos.
Injuries.
So if I draw my gun and start shooting at the guy, and 4 of y'all run in front of me, and I shoot y'all, what did I just do?
Injured.
Now, if I'm able to shoot the guy, I'm a hero. There's going to be a parade, we're going to have tickets and everything, right? But if I shoot a couple of y'all, that's going to be a bad day for everybody. So that's going to be the problem of just arming people. The only people I truly know are trained for chaos like that is the severe military teams that do these daily in operations. I don't know how many, most police ain't get that type of training. So that's the reason why I'm saying, you know, be careful about how you, when you decide to arm. That's a choice for y'all. Seriously, it is. Can I tell you it don't work? No. You hear about it all the time. The church we had over in Oakwood, because that congregation, falls got off, they lived, didn't it? It works. We've heard about school officers confronting bad guys. We've heard about citizens. So it works, as long as you get the bad guy. And that's the only thing, and that's the reason why you want to talk to your attorney, you want to talk to insurance, make sure you're covered on that part. The wrongful death suits, I've been in 2 wrongful death suits through my career. They're not fun. And so that should give you a little bit of experience. So, any other questions? If there ain't no other questions, that's everything I got. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If I can do anything, please just get in touch with me.
Y'all sure, before we start dispersing and dismissing, are we sure that we don't have any other questions for Officer Hollingsworth, especially as it pertains to the church? We had this presentation with the security team and with the elders and deacons, I believe. And if you've noticed, some measures have already began as far as trying to make things a little safer around here. But, you know, we have challenges of having an older sanctuary, so the awareness of you all will help to go with some of the things that we're trying to implement. But he's a volume of wisdom, so this is an opportunity. Go ahead.
What about making sure that nobody is left behind in the church when everybody, you know, like everybody in here now, somebody could just hide and be in here when somebody comes.
Yeah, that's a combination of things. Y'all do have cameras, right? So I know they have cameras. So if everybody actually left, they do have cameras that will trigger. You also got alarms, right? So that will trigger it off if somebody's still in the building. That may be one of the things that the security team may want to do a sweep of the building to make sure. And one last time, I'm glad you brought this up, because one of the things I didn't do, what do you do when you leave here? I want to tell you, because in military, I was in one with the military, they said, well, we got this mustard place. I don't know of any military personnel in here, and you might know what the mustard place is. Mustard place is basically a place where everybody goes together. Now, if I'm in here and I'm the shooter, and you tell me we're all going to meet over here 2 blocks down the road, well, I know that, right? So why can't I set up explosives for over there so when you get up there, I can kill more of you? So, once they figure that out, they quit doing that from our class. What we tell you is leave. How do you handle stress? One of my good friends, she loves buying shoes. So when I would tell her, go to the dealers and buy you some shoes. We'll get in touch with you. We got, we'll get your phone number and I'll call you. And all that stuff. So whatever you need to do, leave. When you leave, if the front door can get blocked with all the people, what happens when you jump in your car and leave? So it may not be the smartest thing to run out there, get in your car and leave. You may need to leave on foot. Okay? But just go. Get yourself safe. And we'll find you. And if you need to do something to de-stress, start de-stressing. If you want to shop, shop. Okay?
Anything else? All right, well, let's thank him once again for his time. I've had the privilege of working with him outside of, obviously, on my other job. And he takes this serious, and he does a lot of things in the community to try to keep us safe. So we thank you for taking time to come out and be with us again. And again, if you have any other questions that come up after you leave here, Elder Wallace is headed by security. And many of you know some of the ones that you see on Sunday mornings and Wednesday evenings now. We're even trying to incorporate some of that. Ask questions. Let's get familiar with how to just be aware of things. And if we, send some more information out to the church, just pay attention to any updates that we get, okay? You got anything else? All right.
One last thing real quick. Tuesday night, 6 o'clock at the JC building, we're having a free forum. It's for quality of life. I'll be part of the panel. We'll have a representative from the fire marshal, community development, inspection, zoning, and animal control. This is to teach y'all every resource that you got to help you keep your community safe and keep it prosperous. So if you got a chance, come out. It starts at 6 o'clock. It goes about 7:30. Totally free to the public. We're going to be there to answer your questions.